Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of C&C Productions, How to Draw Dinosaurs. And in this video, I'll be showing you how to draw the double-sailed Amargasaurus. Now this was a very interesting sauropod that lived in Argentina, and I'm going to show you how to draw it. But before we start to draw, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Amargasaurus. Now, in Argentina, Amargasaurus was closely related to Dicraeosaurus, and Dicraeosaurus was a similar sauropod. Here's an image of it. This is not Amargasaurus, this is Dicraeosaurus. It also had spines jutting out from its backbone. In all diplodocids, the spines were split in two, but in Amargasaurus, as you can plainly see here, this splitting was carried to an extreme. The single associated skeleton lacks the tail, and so the total length is uncertain, but we can assume, because most diplodocids had long tails like Diplodocus itself, that it probably had one of the long bullwhip-like tails similar to other diplodocids. Like Dicraeosaurus, this diplodocid had a very short neck when compared to the group. The spine sticking up from the backbone between the shoulders and the hips undoubtedly carried a sail. Probably used for signaling or for temperature regulations. Those on the neck are paired, and they did not carry a sail, as this would have hampered the movement of the neck. And some illustrations you'll see the split sail on Amargasaurus's neck having a sail, or like a skin stretched over it. And that probably wouldn't have happened because, as I said before, its neck wouldn't have been able to move very freely. They were more likely to have been covered in horn and were possibly used as defensive weapons. I doubt that if I was like a troodont or a dromaeosaur that I would go and leap up onto that thing's neck. There are actually two different species of Amargasaurus, Amargasaurus kauzoi and groiben. Well, at least I think that's how you pronounce them. But now that we have learned a little bit, now we can draw it. First, as with all sauropods, the neck is long, but the head is quite small. And that's what you want to draw Amargasaurus's head like. Don't draw it like just like something like that, or just like a U. Diplodocids had a head that looked sort of like this. Okay, we're gonna do that. And then you take the neck, make it long and graceful, and that's what we're gonna do right there. That's his neck. And as I mentioned before, Amargasaurus's neck wasn't quite as long as, say, like a Mamenchisaurus or Seismosaurus's. It was long, but not like a 40-foot long monstrosity. And then you add the legs, which you can make it look sort of like elephant legs, because that's basically what sauropod legs were. Now the tail you can sort of like branch off, and actually, hang on a second, there, I just basically rounded that up, got that a little bit under control, and give him a tummy tuck. Okay, that looks a little better. Okay, that is basically the outline that you can use for pretty much every sauropod that ever existed. But for Amargasaurus, of course, we're going to give it the details and just draw the eyes, nose will be up there somewhere. Okay. Now, Amargasaurus is actually one of my favorite dinosaurs, and my favorite dinosaur, though, is Carnotaurus. And the reason for that is probably because one of my favorite movies, like whenever I was a toddler, was Disney's Dinosaur with the Carnotaurus, and I've loved Carnotaurus ever since. Okay, now there's the double spines on Amargasaurus's neck. Okay. Just pair them up so that they look like they're paired up, like that. I just repeated myself. And the spines on the back were also paired, and so draw them longer and separate. Then whenever you get down to the tail, you can sort of just put them together. And then what we're going to do with these is here we are going to turn that into a sail. There. Now you add the details. Now sauropods were extremely muscular, and Amargasaurus was definitely not an exception, even though it was actually pretty small for a sauropod. I mean, most sauropods were huge, titanic beasts, but Amargasaurus was actually only 30 feet long. When I say only, for anything that's pretty big, but for a sauropod, that's very tiny. The smallest dinosaur, the smallest sauropod that ever lived was Untitled, and that thing only got 20 feet long, which for a sauropod is a dwarf. Of course, that title is also contested by the Amargasaurus, which was on the island of Haytag, same place where Hatzegopteryx lived, which happened to be the biggest pterosaur that ever lived. Which is an interesting flip side. And here, where Amargasaurus lived, it probably would have dealt with predators like Mapusaurus or Giganotosaurus or the Carnotaurus. It lived in the same place. Carnotaurus probably ate this creature. Okay, and there you go. That's your basic outline, and now we're going to color this thing in. Now, as I said before, you can color a dinosaur in any way you want to. There's no right or wrong way to color in a dinosaur, since we don't know its colors. But for this particular color scheme, I've chosen, you'll need pink, red, black, and yellow. And for the pink, there you go. That's it. There's your pink. Basically just like a little muscle that's running there. And actually, you also need green. And I'm going to show you where you put the green. Right there. Give it green eyes. Because the green eyes is going to accent the color scheme that I give it. And here we go. Alright, just draw stripes like so. And sort of thicken the stripes out just to let them pop off the page. And I'm going to cut this right here. Alright, there we go. Now that the stripes are thickened out, you fill it in with the yellow. Alright, and also, you're going to want to keep the stomach white. So, just draw a slight, if you want to. It's just so that you know to keep it white. There. And then fill the rest of it in. Now you're going to want to fill the rest of it in with red. If you want to, red can work, and also so can red orange. Red orange will probably also give it the effect. I'm going to cut it here until it's done. Alright, and there you have it. There's your finished Amargasaurus. Alright, well, if you enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe for new content. If you have any other suggestions for dinosaur drawing or a dinosaur battling animation, just leave it in the comments box. And until next time, I'll see you later.